Find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Sponsored by SAMHSA and Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns running the board, and we have hosts, as always, Haas and DP here as well. We got a full slate of NFL as well today. We got a couple games later this afternoon. I'm sure we'll dive into that as well. But how's it going, guys?
Great. There's no time to even say hi, DP, with everything that's going on. There's no time to even say hi.
Yeah, let's put aside the formality and my only question was this. Was the lead going to be Niners, Eagles? Was the lead going to be Chiefs and the ankle and Joe Burrow, or was it going to be Sami Zayn? Was it going to be Roman Reigns? Was it going to be Jey Uso? Was it going to be Royal Rumble? I know you said you were disappointed. I was not so much. So I wasn't sure where you wanted to start, but I'll let you spin the wheel and we'll land where it lands.
So if you turned off the Royal Rumble last night around midnight Eastern time, or during the main event or before the main event, because the Royal Rumble is always about the 30 people in a Royal Rumble. It's always about the men's Rumble. Now it's always about the women's Rumble too. And so if you watched those and then you saw the black pitch match, you probably were a little disappointed. To me, the men's Rumble was like a 2. It had moments. It had some moments. The Ricochet Logan Paul moment, that was a loud pop. Okay. We saw Gunther just go for the longest time ever as a Royal Rumble entrant, go from number 1 for an hour 11, and he's probably going to be a future world champion at some point when they decide Reigns to not have it. So we saw that. Cody, you predicted that. It's exciting, but it was predictable. And no offense to you. Rhea, that was cool. Nia Jax got a loud pop, so finally we could bring her back. She's always really good at the Royal Rumbles and have a storyline. But that was it. We're not going to really talk about that. There's no Rock. There's no Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's no AEW person. There's no NXT guys on the men's side. So there's nothing to really get excited about. And there's 51,000 fans there. This was like a WrestleMania atmosphere. They really wanted to pop. They really wanted to get excited for Alberto Del Rio's music or Daniel Bryan's, Bryan Danielson or whatever his name is, CM Punk. But they didn't have that opportunity. But WWE, they made up for it. They told a story. They told a story that's been lasting for 9 months. And DP, it was funny. In that story, he even said, do you want to go back to your jackass crap? Meaning, I'm the one who's brought you to this level. You were a person who fought in a jackass fight last Royal WrestleMania. And I, Roman Reigns, brought you to this level. And so, just like the Shield, just like Seth Rollins hitting Roman Reigns with the chair, I know where I was then, and I know where I was last night. And that pop was insane when Sami Zayn finally said enough. Finally said, I can't be a part of the bloodline anymore. You can't do this. So that's why we're starting with the Royal Rumble.
I don't know. I get this is the age difference between the two of us, and between the three of us. Harrison, I'm at the point now where I want it to be quality, whatever it is, right? So I don't care what script you're on. I don't care any of that as long as it's good. As long as it's good. So did you make me feel anything different than I feel any other Monday or Friday watching SmackDown or Raw? Right? That's what the special events used to be for. Was, can you tell me a story and can you culminate the story on a Sunday or a Saturday night when I could be doing something else? And so what I was looking for, and you spoke to, I wanted AJ Lee. I wanted, I'm glad I actually knew Nia was coming back. One of her people kind of shared the information that it was happening. I wasn't quite sure she was ready, so I worried about her being number 30. That didn't make sense to me. I still don't understand the two most sellable talents in the WWE were buried, absolutely buried. Why, in the name of everything good, is Brock Lesnar lost in the middle of the Rumble? Why? What did you accomplish? What did you do by taking the most elite talent in the space and just burying it like it was nothing? And I want to give Lesnar credit. This was one of the few times when Lesnar sells anything, I'm all in. When Lesnar loses it, as if to say, this is some bull because this is not what you guys told me was going to happen. Like, that was the pitch and sell, that Lesnar was like really pissed off. Like, oh my God, that wasn't supposed to happen. I came all this way to be a part of Royal Rumble, and I'm not in the feature, and I'm not going to be in one of the final three guys. Okay, so why would you have Lesnar and not have him be one of the final four guys in the ring at the end of it? No matter what the finish is going to be, why would you take him and Lashley and just bury them? They got like 5 minutes, and then you just wasted the two greatest talents, the two most credible talents in all of this. Then, as you said, no Rock, no Stone Cold, no Dude Love, no, like there's a ton of stuff they could have done that they didn't do. You had a Royal Rumble where Charlotte Flair didn't participate. What the hell?
Ronda
What
Rousey.
the hell? Like, at least have her come down to the ring and interfere in the Rumble, right? To set up whoever it is that she's going to face next, because we have no idea who her rivalry is. We have none. Maybe, have her pull Sonya Deville out, or maybe have her trip up Nia, or, ruin it for Asuka, or whatever it was. Like, build something. Nope, let's not build anything. Don't give me any hint on how you're going to split Reigns' 2 titles into 2 different titles, so he can fight somebody and then somebody else can fight somebody. No, don't give me any of that, right? Give me nothing on how Reigns is going to lose that. And then, if you're going to tell me that Sami Zayn is going to win one of the titles, why are you doing that to Jey Uso? Like, if you're going to build the next great thing, the guy who's earned it isn't Sami Zayn. It's Jey Uso. So I don't know what kind of fun, happy green they're smoking in the back. I don't know what kind of shots of liquor they're putting on. But listen, people, whatever, man. This was like, you're right. I love the psychology behind Sami. Sami sold. Sami absolutely sold. But I'm still not buying that I care enough about Sami for him to be in that space. He's still Sami. He's still Sami. Now, if you had sold Jey, okay, right? Because he's not beatable either. His reign for not being pinned is almost as long as Roman Reigns, right? So if you were going to do that and then have Rock come in to oversee his 2 nephews and say, okay, enough, like then you sold the WrestleMania and you've done it. But how are you going to squeeze The Rock into WrestleMania now? We're officially on the road to WrestleMania. How are you going to pitch and sell getting The Rock tied in, because he's going to have to go through Jey, he's going to have to go through Sami, he's going to have to go through Solo.
So it could be a bloodline type fight where he's like, I got Jey and Sami's back. You've done way too much disrespect to my bloodline. I don't know. That's not what it should be. If The Rock is available and can show up, they will just drop every storyline. Sorry, Cody, we messed up. You don't even get a match. You will just give it to The Rock because it's The Rock. So,
but
let
then
him be available.
But then you've devalued. Once again, you've devalued. You did it with Goldberg. You did it with Sting. You would do it like you can't resist. You did it with Batista. Don't tell me on one day that the young talent and the future of the sport is the biggest thing, and then constantly on the biggest events with the greatest number of eyes, tell the worst story by always going back to having the legacy match rather than the futures match. And you can have the legacies match. The Royal Rumble would have been perfect for it. I've been saying all along, have a legacy Royal Rumble, a third Royal Rumble that's for all the old dudes, right? And let them come in and, somebody who's going to go on a run, right? You have Edge, right? You have Edge and Jeff and Christian. You could have done, like, there's a ton of stuff you could have done, right? And then that person comes back and gets on a run against one of the Young Bucks. But again, this is me. I don't understand. This is not that complicated. Like, give me something to care about that says I actually care. Like, I actually thought up something new and creative and different and better. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Let me go back to something you said a while ago. I've been watching, say, the last 10 Royal Rumbles. And with that, there was a Royal Rumble where Goldberg eliminated Brock Lesnar after he had already humiliated him at Survivor Series, beating him in like a minute 26. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I think Lesnar elevated Goldberg, but after that, we got the beast. We got the really angry beast. So if that would come from this, awesome. But yeah, he's not a jobber. So why are we treating him like a jobber?
Like, why put him in? He would have made, you talk about like the couple of minutes that it was good. If you carry Lesnar through all of that, right? There's nothing wrong with having Lesnar and Braun Strowman just destroying people, right? Like, you could have done that. Like, I don't need Miz to go out against Joe Nobody. I want Miz to reset the bar because Lesnar threw him out. Like, the rule of the Rumble should be, if it's not a part of a future story, nobody gets eliminated. Like, the whole point of the Rumble used to be to set up the stories that we're going to follow for the next 4 months. That used to be what the Rumble was. Like, it was about a chance for you to cheer for the people you like. Like, that's just really like, oh, here comes Luke and Butch. Like, nobody expects them to win, but give me the march to the ring and then them licking each other's foreheads and headbutting people with one another. Okay, give me that. Give me Dude Love coming out after Mankind came out earlier. Give me the stuff that, as a wrestling fan, I giggle over. Like, I need to giggle a couple of times at Royal Rumble. I need to go, okay, that was stupid. Like, I need that. We didn't get that. Like, we didn't get the Santino moment with him coming out with the snake. We didn't get you can get Jake
Titus.
the Snake Roberts, right? You didn't get Titus in a full sprint sliding under the ring. You didn't get Jake Roberts coming out with Damian and having everybody get, for a moment, right? We know that's when they're resting, but give me the moment where they sit back. Aside from Shoe Guy, Bubba, or whatever his name is, doing the worm, and aside from Booker T doing the spinneroonie, those were the only two moments for the men where they went, okay, like the rest of us is going to sit in the corner, act tired, and laugh because that's what was supposed to happen. Like, it was crazy. It's crazy. Give me Booker T. I'm thrilled that Booker T came in and did his thing.
And that's the thing, that looking at all the old Royal Rumbles, there's a Royal Rumble that I forgot about. It was in 2016 where Roman Reigns was the Universal Champion or the WWE Champion, and he was fighting with the Authority, and Vince McMahon at the time put him in the Royal Rumble as the first entrant, and the winner of the Royal Rumble would have became the champion instead of going to fight the champion.
Right.
And so in that, he's beating everyone. I mean, he's getting beaten up badly. The Wyatt family beat him up. There's just Kane, the Big Show, all these people beat him up. And then number 30 was Triple H. And Triple H beat him. And that was surprising. That was really cool to be like, oh.
if they had said, like, to me, if you're gonna go unpredictable, go off the chart, right? That if you had come in and said, the young lady from NXT, any of the young NXT young ladies, this is also when the NXT uprising happens, right? Would have been perfect for the NXT uprising. Have all this new stable of young women's talents to have them get together and come after, Bayley and company. That would have been spectacular. Or if you had some of the old school. So if you had Tamina and Nia and Natalya come in and go, screw that, we don't like what you young girls are doing, we're going to do this thing, right? Like, I don't know, you want Michelle McCool to go in the Hall of Fame? Have her win last night and then take on Charlotte, right? Because then they can have the conversation. Okay, you could have done any of that. But no, this is where they're going to, AEW and Impact are willing to do stupid things well. They're willing to do dumb things well. The WWE is a corporation, and it runs as a corporation, whereas the other wrestling factions tend to run themselves as entertainment. and they go, what's the best way for me to entertain you? If I'm going to ask you to spend more bucks or more time, what's going to be the most entertaining thing? And often that's either storytelling, right? Fights that matter, or shock and awe. And I thought WWE had a chance for shock and awe. We weren't even shocked. The only shock last night was the fact that Jay walked. If Jay Uso doesn't walk, that whole Sammy thing falls flat. It falls flat. Like it would have, like they would have popped, but then it would have been like, okay, well, we expected it, but thank you for doing it. The fact that they gave Jay 3 minutes to marinate it. Jay gave, like, that's the performance of all performances, was, okay, Jay, do your thing. This is your growth. This is the moment. Because for me, more than Sammy hitting Roman, Jay walking was the story last night. Like, that's the storyline. I'm sorry. Sammy can't beat Roman. Sammy can't beat Roman. He can't. You can't do that. Jay, who knows everything, who's already gone 60 minutes with him, who's already gone through the torture chamber and has improved since then, that's who I want. That's what I want. I'm sorry. They outkicked the coverage. They made a star out of Jey Uso instead of Sammy.
So I want you to shift the lens for 1 second. And let's go to Seth Rollins when he was the architect, when he broke up the Shield. He did multiple things. So like he joined the Authority, he sold out, he also just destroyed by his own decision, by his own will, to destroy the best faction ever. And he did that on his own. And so that gave him even more credibility. And so now Sammy might not be the man that you think the fans think he should be. But him breaking up the bloodline, that is a major storyline in itself. Like,
well, it's brother against brother against brother.
So are the Usos going to go and be tag team champions? Like, what's going to happen there?
No. This is the thing, right? That you put up the titles. Okay. Sidebar: I have zero idea or caring about Imperium or Gunther. Listen, Gunther, until Gunther gets some grown man wrestling tights, until he gets tights that don't squeak when he walks, those things, man, they are too tight. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? Did you miss
Biggie?
Did you miss every squat day? Did you miss, like, you don't do legs, bro? Like, you know, like I don't understand. I don't, like, he's the dude who I expect to have things in his closet, right? Like, I fully expect to worry about Gunther, right? Like, I'm just worried. And then Imperium. If the two guys came in that they're gonna push as the contenders for the tag team title, if they walked into the ticket, I don't care what show we had going on at the ticket, I fully expect our radio host to kick their tails. Like, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. It doesn't matter what show. I fully expect that any show on the ticket can beat the tails of the guys from Imperium. Like, I don't buy it. So now you wanted silly me today. That's what you get. Look, it's Solo plays in this thing. The great sell for me would have been if Solo had went with Jay and Sammy.
He might. That's Raw.
Well, that would validate all of the rest of the stories. Because then The Rock would come in and go, okay, this is insane. You guys, you've lost control. I know you say you're in control of the head of the table, but this is not head of the table business. This is not like, that's the way you sell that, right? But then if you do that, what do you do with Kevin Owens? Like, you can't use Kevin Owens to pitch all of this and then just sit him down. Like, what does Kevin Owens, is it Kevin and Sammy versus one of the Usos, or, Uso and Solo? Like, what do you do? And then what do you do with Jay if you do that? Like, I just don't think they've thought it through on how the stories are going to evolve. Like, that's my issue.
We gotta go to break, guys. But no, I do agree, DP. Like, that's kind of, I get tons of wrestling on my Twitter now, thanks to you guys. I get to see and follow up, catch up on that. And it felt that the Royal Rumble was lackluster. A lot of people seem to kind of have pretty neutral feelings, if not negative. And it's kind of like the same thing for me with boxing. It's like, we don't care about boxing anymore because no one knows the story. If two people are fighting in the park, you got someone playing basketball, someone playing football, and two people are fighting, you're always going to watch the fighters. But if you don't know the story, no one's going to care. So that's kind of my thing with wrestling. I'm glad we went over that because that's the response I was getting from it. And again, it seems like the narratives for wrestling are kind of keeping it back from getting new people interested. But we got to go to break. This is The Breeze. I'm Harrison Arns running the board. We have host Haas and DP as well. We'll be back right after this break.
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's a new year. One resolution that should be a priority is to make reading a part of your child's daily routine. Kick off the new year by making reading a priority in your home. Read to your children. Let them read to you. Make every day an opportunity to sharpen your child's language skills while expanding their vocabulary and knowledge.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association. Aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog? A cat? Or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
What should the expectation be for a team that's gutting half of it, and you're replacing it with guys obviously that you like long term and some short term that you think can help right away? But this is a roster flippening. This is something that you would do if you're thinking about 3 or 4 years down the line, and they're building building the program, not building the 2023 season.
I would say you'll hopefully see improvement on all three sides of the ball, because you're going to have so many new faces, new names, new numbers. It's going to be really fun.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Public schools are the cornerstones of our communities, and it's communities that ensure students have great public schools. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Learning happens at home, in school, and everywhere in between. We all have a role to play in supporting student learning in the classroom and beyond. Help us make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns running the board. This is The Breeze. We got Haas, host as always, not across the table. He's actually remote, and DP as well. We kind of went over the Royal Rumble. That felt maybe it was a little lackluster. Some narratives just don't seem to be quite adding up. But Haas, I'll go ahead and throw it to you. There's definitely still plenty of things we can go talk about. I'm surprised we haven't had a single Cowboys jab yet. I was waiting for it, but we'll probably get there at some point.
One, I don't do that. My teams have lost plenty. It's annoying. So just you won. Act like you've been there before. For the Royal Rumble, to be clear, if the last segment didn't happen, then it would have been a very lackluster Royal Rumble, and the actual Royal Rumble matches were lackluster. But the pay-per-view, because of the story at the end, that made it a much, much stronger pay-per-view for most people. I don't know if it was for DP, but
well, I mean, my thing was if there are zero surprises, like nobody lost a belt who held the belt. Like was there any real thought that they would let Kevin Owens win? Would there be any thought that they were going to let Alexa win? No Charlotte. The Intercontinental belt was not up for grab. I just didn't. I don't understand. No tag teams were up, right?
Yeah, Usos didn't even fight.
Right. So I don't. The exceptional events deserve and require exceptional matches, and it requires the best level of talent. In the past, tag team champions have been in the Rumble. Like that's been a thing. Like that's how a lot of the building happens, is to have people in that space kind of battle back and forth. But for all that it was, I don't know. I would have used Lashley and Lesnar would have been a match. The tag teams would have been a match on all sides, right? Women's tag team, all of that. Matter of fact, them having a women's tag team tournament pay-per-view would actually, if you want to build the brand, the best way to do that's how you would do that, is to have a tournament and just have it go an entire pay-per-view. And then, the belts are up for grabs. Like you actually have to, do your thing. And at the end of it, then they get the championship belt or whatever. But it's a way to create characters and a way to draw interest and to build stories. And it's just wasted opportunities because half of the Raws and SmackDowns we could do without. We could do without because they're not story building and they're not building any greater talent. Like it seems to me like AEW and Impact, every show's a pay-per-view. Like they take literally everybody's got to go because they don't have enough talent to be casual about it. Like they're just all of our stars all the time. Look, the lower level talent at the right anyway. Like I'm not going to care about. Like they haven't made a star that I only know the people who have been in WWE. Like real talk. Like NXT
hold on.
the future.
Britt Baker would dominate in WWE. She would be the most loved. Yeah, she would.
She wouldn't. No, she wouldn't. I find her totally disinteresting.
Oh.
I've never watched one of her matches and goes, she's innovative, entertaining, or exciting. I've never said any of those three things about her. Never. Never.
Give her a Triple H to make her into
no. Every star who was a star before, they were a star in personality before they got to WWE. The WWE was just amplifying. Britt Baker, I'm just disinterested in. There are tons of people that have gone from the lower clubs up to WWE that I was disinterested in where they were, and they've never gotten more interesting. Like they've never. They said you're a 4, but you're in the WWE. Yeah, you're a 4. Like that.
Okay, so then I guess football is a little being pushed back. Cody Rhodes winning last night is probably one of the best evolutions. I know Drew McIntyre got a little bit of a 10-year, hey, I didn't do anything. But Cody Rhodes was the second man out in a Royal Rumble match. It was him, Triple H, and Randy Orton. And Randy Orton ended up winning. And he was the second man out. Usually the second man out gets something
because you didn't use him. Cody's always been talented. I thought Cody was more talented than Goldust. And Goldust was a worker. Like, I loved watching Goldust wrestle. Cody was always better. Like, I didn't understand why they let him out the door. Another one that falls in that category was young DiBiase. I thought another one that the younger DiBiase actually had a shot at being really good. Yeah. I just don't think they managed him well. Sometimes it's the corporation. Sometimes the corporation doesn't get it, and then they've got to go. I mean, it's like Daniel Bryan, where they didn't know what to do with him. And finally the fans were like, okay, stop being idiots. The guy's got it. Why don't you use him? And it took the fans to make the corporation get it. But Daniel Bryan was always interesting. He was always intriguing. Like, if you're not interesting where you're being highlighted, like if you're not a good AA player, if you're not the best AA player, you have zero chance of being the best major league player. Like, be interesting. Like, there are wrestlers who hold belts now that I'm not interested in at the lower level. I'm just not interested in them. I'm just not. I wish, I've given them a chance, but I don't know who. I don't know who the champions are at the lower levels. I have no idea who they are.
You still don't like the Acclaim, do you?
No, not a bit. Not a bit. Whatever. Like if they came to Lincoln and were doing an autograph signing at the store next to the station, I wouldn't go to it. Like that.
Even if like Billy Gunn was there?
No, see, this is the thing. Look, if you have Evolution there, or if you had Degeneration or the New Age Outlaws, I'd go. But what you're currently doing with it, Harrison, I'm this way. If I don't feel like the wrestler is a threat to me personally, I don't want to watch him wrestle.
That makes your feelings for Gunter make sense.
Right? Like if I don't feel like, one, I want you behind me or beside me in a fight, I don't care about you as a wrestler. Like, it's okay. Could you at least kick somebody in the head? Like,
Might have lost him for a little bit there.
DP always brings up size, and when I watch AEW, I point out to my wife, I'm like, DP's gonna say Haas can kick that person's ass.
Yes. Harrison, if he was Imperium, he would be the leader. Harrison would be the leader of the Imperium.
80 pounds.
Yeah, like Harrison would be the one, like they walk out first and then Harrison comes out to get the real pop. Like,
oh, geez. All right. Well, there are 2 games coming up in an hour, 18 minutes, and about 5-6 hours.
Look at Harrison change careers in mid-show. Like,
well, all right, fine. Harrison, give us your best promo speech.
Let me get that over the
break. When you come back, we're not going to break yet, but Harrison is going to try to electrify.
Yeah. I'll become the new leader.
Harrison's the scholar, right? He's the scholar. Harrison, he'd come out with his glasses on like old Paul Ellering. Ellering would come on with his glasses on, and he would pontificate, and he would prognosticate, and then he would rip the glasses off and get in your face and say, now my boys are going to kick your tail. And that's that would make him the most interesting part of Imperium.
All right. Well, we should talk about Bengals, Chiefs, Niners, Eagles, just because they're kind of exciting.
We're just gonna get your pick. That's really
they're kind of exciting. I will say I'm concerned now that everyone's picking the Bengals to win. Like, why would you give any fuel to Kansas City? Why would you have your mayor go and put bulletin board material out there? Why would you guys call the stadium Burrowhead Stadium? So it's already, look, you don't need to motivate men or women or any athlete where the next thing is going to get you to the trophy or the ring. I understand you don't need it, but just, hey, sometimes you need a 1-second reminder, and adding all that bulletin board material. No one's talking about the Chiefs. I understand Patrick Mahomes has an injury that's going to take another 6 weeks to heal, but it's still the Chiefs. So Chiefs are going to win today, and I'm probably the only person saying it.
I'm there with you. I'm leading Chiefs as well. I'm not super confident about it. I mean, you look at the last time Chiefs and Bengals play, 27-24, Bengals win. You look at the time before that, final score, 27-24, Bengals win. It's always been on an edge of a blade, though. So I can't sit here and being like, there's no way Chiefs got a shot, especially with all the fire they're getting. And I mean, obviously, they're professional athletes. You don't have to worry about them not competing. But I'm definitely not going to sit here comfortably and just think the Chiefs are going to go in there and beat them. But I do like their odds more over the Bengals.
It's strange. Last night, I was dead set that the Bengals would win. Dead set. Like, it wasn't a question. But then all of the absolute talk doesn't resonate for me. Now, I feel a little bit better now. I read an article on the Bengals defensive coordinator this morning, which gave some of his philosophy, and I went, oh, he's in the lab. Like, this dude's in the lab and doing work. And there's a reason. The reason why people lean away from the Bengals, and always have, is that they don't quite understand what they're doing. Like, they don't understand why they're being good. They don't have any Pro Bowlers, any first-team Pro Bowlers, no starters in the Pro Bowl, no All-NFL. But they're number one and they're number two in defense and number one in the second half. and we don't know why. Well, reading this article kind of opened my brain a little bit. So I'm still Team Bengals for that very reason, that a defensive coordinator that's working extra and has his team bought in, I'm in. And then we'll talk about the Niners and Eagles when we come back.
Yeah, we got to get to break here, guys. We're already going
one second.
over. Yeah, go for it.
Harrison, are you a Madden player or used to be a Madden player?
It's gone downhill, but yeah.
I haven't played in like 10 years, but I used to play all the time. And in Madden, the way I'd win is I'd hide where the blitz was coming from. So oftentimes I'd put 2 or 3 defensive ends going back, and then there'd be a safety blitzing and a linebacker blitzing. There's always 4 coming. And it was very hard for the QB to find where the rush was coming from, who's in coverage. And that's what the Bengals do on defense all the time. And it is on film, it's impressive to see how much more time it creates for the rushers to get there, since the quarterback just needs that extra half a second to find out what's going on. So props, DP, for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's a good point too. And like, we'll see. I mean, I know Mahomes looked like he's bionic at this point, but I mean, a high ankle sprain, that's got to hurt. I mean, even if he's walking out without a gimp, I think, man, just the history of those, I'd be surprised if he doesn't experience a little bit of pain. And like you said, Bengals really good at hiding where they're bringing pressure. So we'll talk about that some more on the next segment, but we got to go to break here. This is The Breeze. I'm Harrison. I'm running the board. We have host Haas and DP. We'll be back right after this.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Brett Maher misses 4 extra points against the Cowboys. As a special teams coach, what do you do in that situation?
First of all, you get back to routine. You don't overplay it a bunch where it's just like, think about this. But I'd like to know he always stayed on the hash, on the left hash. So all those misses came from the left hash. You can put the ball in the middle, or you can put it on the right hash. I wonder why he didn't change. If he just felt, hey, this is what I do. So that will be an interesting question for me to ask him.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. Last segment of The Breeze. We got one more game to talk about, as well as my resume. We got to get that out of the way, so hopefully I can be joining WWE here, or appearing, lead them out. But before, I'll kind of save that. That's going to be my Haas pick. So we'll get that. I'll save that for the very end there.
I'll go quickly. Look, the Commanders 32-21. It was a evening primetime game, and they had the ball for 40 minutes. They ran the ball well, 152 rushing yards to the Eagles 94. And that's the recipe, and it's going to be hard because the Niners have become a passing team with Brock Purdy. So can the Niners have the ball more than 32, 33, 34 minutes? Can the Niners run the ball more than 31, 32 times? If they do, it's a pretty solid chance that they win the game. And all those Eagles fans have been talking all year can go home and cry.
Yeah, you know quite a few of those Eagle fans, don't you? They're all around you. As Brock Purdy says, he points to the arm and puts the fingers to it, lets him know there's ice in these veins. He's undefeated in the NFL. The greatest rookie passing efficiency quarterback in history. Tied together closely with the arrival and emergence of Christian McCaffrey. And then the healthy play of Debo and Ayuk. Kittle and the relationship in space, and then understanding and welcoming the fact that they have the best offensive lineman in pro football, and they use him, and they run behind him, they lean on him. I like the Eagles. I like the way they play. I like the personnel. I like the coaching. But I like the 49ers more. The weapons that they have, if they simply, as you mentioned, the Commanders and the way the Commanders dominated play in that game, well, the 49ers have those plays and system because it's the same system. And then in that system, they have better players at those positions, right? Asking them to look at Brock Purdy and say, well, Taylor Heineke did those things well against the Eagles, and they had problems with it. They couldn't handle the Commanders' running backs. They couldn't handle the Commanders' receivers. And they're not better at any position other than McLaurin. So, look, I like the Eagles. I like their style of play. I like the 49ers more. That's really where I land, is that in my heart of hearts, the 49ers, the way they're playing now, is the best in football. The winning streak, they haven't lost in so long, we've forgotten what it looks like. I'm going to ride with that one more day, that today I think they'll still be better than the Eagles.
And then Haas, got anything else before I go ahead and give this resume before we get out of here?
Let's go.
Do you have a name? Do you have a wrestling name?
No, this is just going to be trash talk. This is me working into it. It's going
The
to be
H.
Haas.
He's the H. There's
H.
Triple H, and then there's the H.
Single H. It's your time.
Single H. Let's go.
Now listen here. You listen up close. The clock is ticking. Brock Purdy is going to be more like Brock Dirty after he picked up all the stains off his jersey after playing the Eagles. Kittle, more like brittle. Christian McCaffrey's going to be crying after this catastrophe. It's going to be a disaster. Fly, Eagles, fly. You heard it here from Big H, the H. Fly, Eagles, fly.
If I'm not here tomorrow, that means I'm on to better things. So keep that in mind. That is it for the Breeze. That was Haas. I'm DP. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.